Hey everyone, it's June 28th, 2012, and I just been watching a lot of Todd White recently, a lot of YouTube videos with Todd White, and I would highly recommend that you watch him, like, a lot, watch him often, because the more you watch him, the more it gets into you, and he's just preaching God anyways, so it's straight up God coming to you. But anyways, I was just thinking about it some more, and we call God, like, God is our friend. Like, God is so much. He's our friend. He's our Father, and everything, and stuff like that. But I was just thinking, like, we have here on Earth, we have friends that we talk to a lot. We might even have a best friend that we talk to, like, the most, like our best friend, think about a best friend. A best friend you talk to, like, all the time, you talk to them a lot, and then now think about, like, a husband or a wife, or someone you're dating or something like that. Those people you also talk to a whole lot. You might talk to them every single day. You talk to them most of the day, stuff like that. Or except for if you're at work, But, like, other than that, you talk to them most of the day or most of the time, So now God, God is our best friend, and He's a very good friend. He's a father and everything like that. But He's so much more than that too. Like, God is the number one most important thing in the whole entire world. And He's, it's hard to take this in, and hard to understand, and hard to swallow, but God is more important than your best friend, and He's more important than your spouse or wife or whoever you're dating. He's more important than your wife or husband or your spouse, and so I was just thinking, if He's more important than all, than all that, He's more important than all that, and He's the number one most important thing, then we should be talking to Him, like, all the time, or, well, maybe not all the time. I should maybe take that back. But, like, we should be talking to Him more than, we should potentially be talking to God more than we're talking to anyone else. And not only that, but it should be a conversation, like a conversation that happens more often than it does with anyone else. Like, we should be listening and hearing from God more than we're listening and hearing from anyone else on the earth. So, because it's a two-way communication. I feel like we really need to get this and understand this. Like, our relationship, it's a relationship with God. It's a two-way communication. We're both talking to God and we're listening to God. We should be doing both. We should be, at certain points we should be talking to God, and at certain times we should be listening to God, hearing from God. And I feel like we really need to get this. I feel like a lot of Christians don't get this. They don't understand this. They're not even trying to understand it. They think they know it. They think they're doing it, but they're really not. And we really need to do this. We really need to get this down and do this. And I think it just takes practice. I think we need to be practicing hearing from God, because I think most Christians are just talking to God. I think most Christians are just talking to God and not hearing from God. I think most Christians think that they're supposed to hear from God by reading the Bible, but I don't think that's true, because why would it say that it's a relationship? Why would it be called a relationship? Yes, I do understand, and I do agree that God can talk to us through the Bible, but I think it's much more than that. I think we should be, God can give us words and messages for today, right in the moment, in the time. I mean, think about it too. Like if you're hanging off a cliff, if you're like hanging off a cliff and needing help right now, and you're like desperate, like what kind of prayer are you going to be praying then? You're going to be praying an urgent prayer to God, like, God, please help me, please get me off this cliff, please get me to safety, please help me, I'm hanging off this cliff, I'm about to die, please, please, just whatever. You're going to be praying very desperately and like asking God to help you right away and do something right away, Now, why do we only pray prayers like that when we're desperate? I think that's not I think that's kind of like not a true Christian. Not being a true Christian, I think that's hypocritical, because we should be talking to God like and having a two-way communication like all the time, not just when we're desperate. We shouldn't expect God, to do things right away only when we're desperate. Like, we should be expecting God to talk to us today, in the moment, and helping us with our day-to-day things and stuff, and whatever. And like, we should be helping God too. That's another thing. Like, we expect God to help us, but are we helping God? Are we doing everything God has commanded us and asked us to do? Or are we only doing certain things in the Bible that we feel that we can, or we feel we want to? Like, God does, some of these things that God asks us to do in the Bible, He didn't say it's going to be comfortable for us. He didn't say, it's going to be, I don't think He said it's going to be comfortable. And I don't know, sometimes we got to step out of our comfort zone to do what God has asked us to do, okay? I think that phrase where it says in the Bible, like, your yoke is easy, your burden is light, I think we misconstrue that and we use that phrase way too much. I think that's misused and overused way too much. So, yeah. So we really need to work on a two-way communication with God. The most important thing is I think we really need to work on hearing from God, because I think most of us are not hearing from God, or not even trying to hear from God, and we're not practicing hearing from God. And so, yeah, we're just not hearing because we're not trying to, we're not practicing it, we're not anything. We're not expecting God to, we're not even expecting God to hear us or to tell us stuff. We should be doing all that. We should be expecting God to tell us stuff. We should be listening to God, listening for God to talk to us, listening to God, and practicing listening to God, taking time out of our day, telling God, like, hey, I'm gonna take this next whatever, this next 10 minutes, this next 30 minutes, this next hour, I'm gonna take this time, to hear from you, and I expect you to tell me things. So, all right, that's all I got for now. Talk to you later. Bye.